What's good, man? Welcome back to another episode of the BKC Roundtable, Blank Kanvas Creatives. Here we are again, man. I got Pinky, Audra in the building. I got Poppa C in the building, Skeet Johnson in the building. My main man, KP, represents Chicago with me, man. And Chi-Town forever. You know how we do it, man. Shout out to Pop C representing Kobe in the background and on his chest. You know what I'm saying? A lot to talk about this week. But before we get any more words in, we got to pay homage to one of our own, one of the founding members of BKC, Blank Kanvas Creatives, the person that invited me to this network, Miss Tiara Hall, a special soul, a soul that's her energy is still definitely in the air. It's just unfortunate we don't have her no longer in the physical. I was grateful to interview her on BKC platform, knowing that since I was a shorty, so it was definitely good to touch base with her there, and we had a dope relationship, and she's missed, and I know we all want to share words about it because she touches all in some way, shape, or form. So I'll let you guys all get your words in. Start off with you, Audra.
Yeah, so T was someone who was super supportive and uplifting to everyone under any circumstance at any time. A lot of times whenever I was working through my process of, being brave or confident enough to launch a podcast, she was just always there. I don't even know if she knew intentionally what she was doing for me, but it was just the support. And in BKC, there's not as many women as there is men. So there was also that connection. And I know when she talked about her children, she just kind of glowed. When she talked about her family and friends, she was always doing stuff for other people, planning things for other people, finding ways to contribute to her community. And we connected over that, and we connected through basketball, of course. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I just always felt like when I make my way to Chicago again, that was somebody I was going to see for sure and meet in person. And for her to be someone that I never met in person, it hit me really, really hard. So yeah, I just want to continue honoring her and keep her name going in this group. So love you, miss you, never forget you.
Wow, powerful.
One time, like Miss T, I didn't really have too many one-on-one conversations with her, but she always, you'd see her name pop up in the chat, and for me it was always, no offense to anybody else, but she just had, like, you could tell that she had the nicest heart and soul out of the rest of us. And she just always gave that little maternal vibe to, like, whatever nastiness we were going on about. She always came in with, like, that good, nice heart and that good soul, and she was always excited about whatever it is we were talking about and excited to join in. And when she had something to say, it was just, like, always so nice and calm compared to whatever chaos we had going on. And then when her Heat made the finals, like, we were all in there talking to her, like, literally the day before. And if anything, like, I was sitting there rooting for the Lakers, but I wanted it to go 7 games, each game overtime, just because I knew how much she would have loved that. Like, just having them boys in the finals and all that. So she'll definitely be missed. It's not the same not seeing her name pop up. And we're going to ride out for her. That's just all we can really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Yeah, getting to know her from the old group and then coming over here. That was the old friendly rival from the Flameless Friday challenges. We had a good couple rounds against each other, and man, it was a lot of fun. And it was always a good time because she could give it back real well. Just, any little thoughts you want to throw her way, she could give it right back. But she was she was just a beautiful soul. She was an angel, man. She was just sweet as could be. Always, just lots of positivity and try to help out. And man, she was a great girl. So yeah, definitely much missed.
Yeah, pretty much like everybody said, man. She was a beautiful soul. I believe I met her through Vick, and just knowing that she was from Chicago, and I wanted to meet up with her and, talk about things. We used to talk about what's going on now in the town that I live in now. I stay in Maywood, and she was telling me about.
Damn, I know you stayed in Maywood, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been for like a year now. But I was we was talking about the what's going on in the community and trying to help the children and everything, man. She just sound very genuine, man, and
yeah,
I'm kind of sad that I didn't get a chance to meet her, but
for sure,
man.
For sure. And before we transition out of the Tiara talk, man, sad as we all are, all of our thoughts, I'm sure I can say this for all of us, all our thoughts and prayers are with her 4 children that she left behind, her mother, her grandmother, who she cared about dearly, her husband, the whole family. She touched a lot of souls, and a lot of souls on this earth right now feeling like we feel, And like I think a few of you guys mentioned, she was a huge Heat fan. And the day before she passed, I'm saying the Heat clinched the finals, And unfortunately for her, I'm saying she was the 6th man for the Heat, but the Lakers had, I'm saying, Kobe on their side too. So it was a tough feat, but I'm saying she definitely poured out Jimmy Butler to be that Game 5. That was all her. Like that was
oh, for sure.
That was not in the books. I'm saying that wasn't written down. I'm saying she made that happen, and it was dope to see that happen, especially with the way this year has been. Like sports didn't even think a realistic thing. So for us to actually watch NBA finals through to fruition and see it all play out without any 0 cases of COVID was amazing. And since Poppa C has the jersey on, since he has the Kobe in the background, that you're gonna kick it off about your Lakers getting a 17 championship, LeBron getting his 4th, man. How you feeling?
I feel like I don't want to hear another Celtics fan try to talk shit again. It's not looking like y'all are going to get to the finals anytime soon. So even if we don't make it back,
there you go.
Talk good shit.
So,
talk good shit.
But no, it was fantastic. I mean, I sat there with, when I first started watching NBA, because I always knew what it was, but I never watched it. I didn't really have cable growing up. So when I started watching the NBA, LeBron was already on the Heat. So I missed that whole little like Cleveland hate thing. So like I started off like I was watching the Heat because living where I'm at, the Lakers games weren't televised. Those are blackout dates. So it was a little bit surreal for me just being like, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing the other franchise win, but the Lakers went hard. I don't know how everybody feels about LeBron, but I mean, he did his thing. I think people need to stop doubting him because he just keeps coming through and doing what he needs to do. Like,
for sure,
LeBron James is the best player of our era.
Absolutely.
Much
love to Kobe, but absolutely.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
still put Kobe over him, but 81 points is still crazy.
Sorry, man. It's over with.
81.
Over with.
Yeah.
But wrong.
Yeah, man. It's like this is like for it to be his 17th season and to see him play at the level he played at after 17 years. Like for me, I feel old seeing LeBron play because like I realized I was 13 when he got drafted. Like I was 03, I was like I wasn't even in high school yet. So like to imagine this, to see what he at now, like to see him, I can't do what he doing. Like nowhere close to that. Like how are you doing this? You 5 years older than me. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, man, I've always really. Oh, go ahead.
So he's I'm his age, bro. So yeah, it's any negativity I hold of, it's all hate and jealousy for real. It's all hate. I ain't gonna lie.
Like it's different. Go ahead, Audra.
I was just gonna say I've always been a LeBron fan, and I mean, yeah, call me bandwagon because I never really had a team for real. Growing up, I have an older brother. He's 7.5 years older than me. And, I just wanted to do everything he did and be like him. So I kind of played basketball because of him. And I grew up in Kentucky, so that's one of the things we only have is college basketball. And so when it came to like NBA teams, my first favorite player ever was Kevin Garnett. And then it was AI. So I called myself a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah.
And then, when LeBron came around, I just followed. Heedle, Laker, whatever, it is what it is. And I had a little bit of disdain for Kobe in my heart for a few years. not basketball related for other things that we're not going to talk about right now. But after he retired and I saw how involved he was with his girls and the youth and Gigi and just all of his girls, period, I was like, I love this guy. So, yeah, everything. Like, he was bringing so much to the table. So I don't even like, honestly, I know it's a comparison. I know it's a debate, and I know that's part of sports. People talk shit, but I'm not comparing them or debating them anymore. Never. I appreciate both for who they are.
Yeah, I think once Kobe passed, I think everyone had to just take that pill and swallow. Like, this debate isn't worth it. Like, I'm saying, even when people have the conversation, like, even though I think LeBron is better, I don't really like saying it because, like, it feels disrespectful. Like, it feels like, come on, does it matter? Like, I'm saying, like in the grand scheme of things, does it matter? Like, they both were equally great great basketball players in the day. They're phenomenal talents. So, like, I kind of want to talk about, like, a few things going off of the finals talk and seeing that amazing accomplishment from LeBron. Also, during the NBA playoffs, we've seen, like, the NBA prove once again to be the best league probably in sports, and the way they handled a lot of racial injustice, a lot of political affairs during this pandemic and all the other social injustices that's happened this year. What are you guys' thoughts on, like, how in retrospect, seeing the NBA put the names on put Black Lives Matter and other sayings on the jerseys, putting Black Lives Matter on the court? Like, what do you guys think about that? And knowing next year that's not going to be there, does that, like, leave a bad taste in your mouth now? Like, how do you guys assume that?
Well, I feel like everything we did this year is like, I'm sorry, but I feel like everything that's going on right now is just like, it's the moment. And it's going to be kind of sad that you don't see it next year, but I would love to see the jerseys of this year being sold to the people. Like, that'd be real nice. Just
Yes, like,
you got like a Black Lives Matter jersey on, as opposed to the players playing or wearing it. Be nice.
As much, I agree with that in a certain, like, aspect, but at the same time, I also see the other flip of the coin. It's like, you guys are profiting off of this. Like, it's always that weird give and take. Like,
that's what I was about to say. Maybe they could take a portion, if they were to do that, make a portion of the proceeds and donate it. It doesn't necessarily have to be Black Lives Matter, but it could be to, like, the ACLU or something like that. If they were to go that route.
And I guess before we get too deep into politics, I forgot Audra is a Kentucky Wildcats fan, and
I was about to remind you. Let's talk my shit now.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit. I forgot about that.
So on the Heatles, we had Bam, we had Hero, and we got the great Pat Riley. UK alone, all day. And then you want to flip it over to the West Coast. You got AD, you got Rondo, and you got Frank Vogel, who played for the JV squad and was a student manager at UK, graduate as well. So either way, winning. Kentucky was winning. University of Kentucky was winning. And I know what you're about to say, Juice. Shout out to Chi-Town. AD is the man.
AD.
Hey.
AD is the man.
Absolutely. I can't, I feel like at least 4 of us in this group. I'm not sure about Skeet. Maybe you can let me know, Skeet. But 4 of us here are very happy. Like, Chicago's represented, Kentucky's represented, and I'm saying Poppa's obviously the Laker fan. I'm saying, Skeet, why don't you say some words about the finals and how you took it? I'm saying, my fault, Skeet. I forgot you're there because, man, my man's in black right now.
Hey, I'm undercover. I'm lying in the cut.
I'm saying, man in disguise.
No, man, it's funny. I heard there's a lot of talk about the asterisk by the ring this year. Like, I lived in Sacramento for a long time before I came out here to Salt Lake, where I'm at now. And I was at that Kings run. It was in the strike. It was in the shortened season, and that was when they really had that earlier squad that went on that little good run. And there was all that talk back then too, the same thing. And you play the game. You play the game. The ring's the ring. No matter what, in the end of the day, it's the ring. No matter what happens. And being the situation that it is, like, man, this has never happened in history. Like, you've never had something like this happen, the circumstances that they did play through. And, like, Yeah, there should be some respect for that, because it's like, man, they went through a lot to do that, and leading up to it also. And so, yeah, man, like there's no reason it shouldn't get as much respect as any other ring would. And that's something too, man. Like going back to talking about Kobe and all that, and being that, being a Kings fan at that time, that was the squad I loved, and it was too much fun to watch. You couldn't not like them. And so if you were like, you had to not like Kobe. It was just like, it just came with it, because he was the the killer. Like it was just every time. And so there was, you were like, he's good, but like, no, I don't like him. I don't want to watch him. I don't want nothing him. But then it's like the day that he retired, it was just like, oh yeah, he's like GOAT status. You know what I mean? And so losing, like, how much greatness do you miss out on when you want to be on your super fan thing? Like if you love the game, man, like watch the greats, and there's no need, like the comparison thing. It's like, man, just watch them be great. Just watch them be great and enjoy that shit.
Right.
Absolutely. And okay, so like I guess to almost wrap things up as far as talking about actual basketball. One thing LeBron's done it before, Kobe did it twice, Mike did it twice, and that's when I'm saying back-to-back consecutive championships. Do you see him doing it again? Do you
I
see
don't.
LeBron? No?
That I don't.
I don't think it's happening.
You don't think so?
I think this 1 year was a 1 year thing, and I think we got real lucky, but there was a whole lot of things that had to fall this way, and if we get lucky like that again, maybe. But I honestly didn't really think our roster was good enough when the year started. If we do enough to trade some of them pieces, maybe, but LeBron can't do it alone, because AD is kind of fragile. Audra pointed out in the group chat. I never really even thought of it, never noticed it. And that was the only thing on my brain. I'm like, yo, he's kind of a little, not to discredit him, he's still fantastic, but we're going to need more than just those two. And a lot of the people that we had that were doing work, they were older players. So
that's true.
Well, one thing about the NBA, we're not going to continue to, like, just stay with the same players for years. We still got the off season. We still gonna trade and all. I see LeBron getting at least one, maybe two more, maybe. I see one more.
There's talks of Donovan Mitchell joining the crew, and if that happens, let me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something. If Donovan Mitchell jumps ships, Dunzo. That's a three-peat right there.
Oh yeah,
that'd be crazy.
7, 8.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy.
I think that the Lakers can still be competitive, and
LeBron is never out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and just maybe not a repeat, but he's got more than a couple years left.
Which is crazy.
Barring injury, I don't want to jinx nobody. He's always been a healthy guy, so barring injury, they'll be competitive. And initially, when the playoffs started and when the finals started, I thought if he gets this one, he can kind of cruise. He's not going to be able to cruise. So I get Poppa C's point that a lot of things aligned, but I think they were. I thought they were going to win. I thought they were good enough, but I don't know about a repeat. That's hard. Everybody knows that's hard. Even if everything does fall perfectly into place, that's still just to follow up the run. It's super draining and hard.
One thing I want to touch on too, speaking back to like the support, the Black Lives Matter, everything that's happened this year that may not be there next year. Hopefully, there is still plenty of it. And a lot of the backlash that happened from the NBA doing it, because there was a lot of beef that came up, a lot of conflict that came up with people, whether it be fans not wanting to support or companies that buy box seats that now they're upset because people are kneeling. And it's like, okay, hopefully the NBA is willing to walk away from money too to be able to continue to support their players, because they, the NBA is what it is on the backs of a lot of Black athletes, and that they should continue to show love and support and guidance on some of that. And so hopefully that, there's a lot of corporate lip service that happens with social issues. Hopefully that, a lot of that sticks around, and they're willing to, not all money is always good money, and investing in your people is important. And so hopefully it sticks around a lot more.
And that sounds great. I don't see no sports league denying money right now. Cause I mean, everybody lost a nice chunk of change. Yeah, this year, man, a lot of people lost a lot of money, man. But I mean, hey, stay positive for sure.
For real,
I just don't see it, man.
Or if the money's there, be like, oh, okay, just because you were here last year doesn't mean you need to be here this year because there's other people that'll take your place. So that a little more of that, maybe that's maybe a little more easy to do.
And like the NBA, it could be luck, it could be whatever, but like they're the only organization to not have the only league to not have any COVID cases, and that's much to do because of the bubble. So it'll be interesting to see it next year where they do a bubble. Like it's gonna be a bubble for the whole 9 months. Like I don't see these players doing that. Like I can't imagine. So like it's gonna be interesting because we've seen the NFL now suffering with this COVID thing. You know, it's happening at abundance. And
outside of the social justice aspect, like you said, the way they handled COVID and the bubble, definitely deserves a round of applause. I don't see them doing it, like you said, for a full 9 months. There's no way. But I think that is a solid stepping stone to either build from or to take like guidance from for these other leagues to maybe implement some strategies. Sadly, they did better than the government is doing, but I mean, it is what it is.
Except for one person. One person got some great treatment. Like one person got set up nicely on our dime, at the say the least. But kind of touching on that, we've seen, like you said, the NBA and the political voices be heard by these players when they were on strike for that weekend, and the players are not coming back unless these demands are met, and some of those demands being for governor officials and to focus on social injustice, and for like NBA stadiums to be voting places. And obviously the reason for the voting places is because the NBA players want change. And many Black celebrities and celebrities in general are speaking out for change. You can't go open up our Instagram without saying register to vote. Like everything is telling you to register to vote. Everyone is seemingly aiming for change. And we're seeing celebrities like Ice Cube wanting to actually create change by coming up with policies and meeting with some of the politicians. And I guess he reached out to the Biden administration and the Trump administration. I guess the Trump administration reached back out to him, and now he's going to try to communicate with them, and he's kind of getting canceled for it. Never thought I'd see the day Ice Cube gets canceled on some political shit, but that day has come. Like Poppa C, he's a Laker fan, so it's just weird. It's a weird place to be in, and I think the perfect person, I know you're gonna hate me saying this, but talk about this, is Audra. I'm saying, so please, I know you hate that, but I mean you've been foot on the ground more than any of us here. Like you asking for change. And I know you have an important take on this that I'm hella interested to hear, as far as like certain celebrities getting involved and if they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, with the Ice Cube thing, the only thing, to be honest, that bothered me, that pissed me off, was he said he's not paying attention to the rhetoric from either side. I did not like that.
That's a good point.
I'm not mad at him for reaching out to both sides, because like he said, our justice is bipartisan. We need both parties, whether you're even political or not, we need to come together. We need to unite. But throw that aside, the rhetoric from Donald Trump is very dangerous and very divisive, and we all know that. But like I mentioned, I think on the very first roundtable, one of the first things he said after George Floyd was murdered was, when they start looting, we start shooting. You can't ignore that. Yeah. You can't ignore that. And me and you were going back and forth a little bit, and it's not even necessarily the Republican Party. It's the people that are in charge right now. Yeah. And it's going to take many, many years to overthrow all those people that have been elected and placed in those seats. But I've had my conversations with Republicans. The true Republicans don't support this Tea Party, all that. So when it comes to Ice Cube, I'm not mad at him at all. He's doing what he has to do, and I don't necessarily think he's being canceled because I haven't seen too many people successfully get canceled yet.
Yeah, definitely.
And then do we want to stay on Cube and go around, or do we want to go to Ye?
Let's go around because I know you want to attack me on something else. I know there's somebody else.
Oh no, man. So for me, man, Cube, bro. Like I'm a Cali boy, so Cube. I'm NWA, man. I grew up on that shit, so like I like Cube to the heart for always. I get where he's coming from, man. I get the younger Cube saying people quoting lyrics from 20 plus years ago, man. It's like, hey man, like you get older and wiser sometimes on some things, and it's a tough spot to be in, man, because you know that you have a voice, a bigger voice than the average person, and you're trying to do as much good as possible, and there's not always a clear right and wrong way to go about doing it. It's just what do you think is going to have the most positive effect, and you're not always right, and I don't think he's stupid, man, at all. So a lot of the things, the questions that are coming up, I'm sure that he's thought about all of it. And my biggest thing, like Pinky said, is you ignore the politics to a certain extent, but you also have to see the way that people move. And if anybody should understand the dangers of talking and acting reckless and the repercussions it can have, and to see someone who has been as reckless as Trump has been, you have to have pause when it comes to engaging with anything with it, and knowing that they're going to manipulate it in a way and try to present it in a way that's going to make it look like it's something that it's not. And I'm sure that he has to, I'm sure he thinks of that too. But the look these days, people aren't always so interested in having all the facts and information. It's the look, and that's a bad look. And that's what he's catching it now. But man, you're not. He's been in the fight for so long, man. There shouldn't be no doubt about what he's about. So people are gonna say whatever, but he's gonna. I don't think for 1 minute that would stop him. He ain't gonna let it. Like, he stood up to the government and police at a time where that it wasn't the thing to do, and like a bunch of internet folks ain't gonna scare him off. Like, it's cute, man. Like, he's gonna do what he did.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of you, Skeet, Ice Cube last album was pretty much saying that this current president is a piece of shit. So it's kind of hard to say that. It's kind of hard to cancel Ice Cube. It's just weird. I mean, you probably heard a couple of words that he said out of context, and you're like, "Oh, well, we got to cancel this guy." No, we can't do that to Ice Cube. It's impossible. He just started a league, maybe 3-4 years ago?
Big Three.
For retired NBA players?
Big Three.
Come on, man. It's impossible.
I didn't do my proper research, but I did see a storyline about that. Was it did someone send it in our group about Steve Bannon?
Yeah, the money connections to the funding for the Big Three League, and
it goes back to him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's like
it was that he said, she said.
Yeah.
The business partner knows the lawyer that is tied to this group, and it's like a loose connection thing, but it's not like it's a funny money thing. Yeah, all money's funny if you go high enough, man. So
right.
That's a fact. That's just a simple fact.
Yeah.
Pop C, you want to say anything, boss?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I don't know too much about U.S. politics, but anytime you have a platform and you have the ability to do something, if you're able to try and you have the ideas to try and change it, Cube reached out to both sides. He said, look, one side said, hey, we'll address it after the election, and the other side said, hey, we'll try and do something now. You can't really blame him for going with the side that said, hey, we'll try and do something now. Unfortunately, the side that said it just so happens to be the piece of shit side, and that's where we're at with it.
And to lighten things up real quick before we get, I'm saying me and Audra probably had some words about somebody else. The first 3 episodes of BKC Roundtable, I had no idea that Poppa was from Canada, and now I feel like an idiot. I'm listening to him talk. This man has the strongest Canadian accent right now. Like, yo, what was I not hearing before? So,
it's trick though, because like on my Facebook years ago, I don't even know why I changed my hometown to Los Angeles and just forgot
that's
to
what
change.
it is. Okay, that's
And
what
it
is.
probably was like that until I deleted Facebook.
Okay, that's probably what it is.
It's a trick.
And when I listen to your voice, when I hear your voice, I can't help it. I think of Degrassi because that was my first exposure.
That was my shit. That was my shit
because
too.
I didn't even know it was a Canadian show. I'm like, what's this accent? You know, what is this?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
These people look American, but they talk funny as fuck.
Basically, like, damn,
I know I do
got
too,
shot.
but
And before we continue on American politics, since we do have a Canadian here, I have to ask, like, what is the politics like for real in Canada? Like, as far as like presidential elections, like all that goes, like, is everything just much more calm? Like, is it that much better?
It's sort of a little bit more calm. The thing is a lot of times, a lot of American politics will bleed into up here. So problems that are going on down there, people will act like it's a bigger problem up here and ignore the actual problems that we have. That happens a lot. Like when there's a terrorist attack in the United States, people up here are automatically just waiting. They're just like, oh, is it going to happen here too? So it's always like a ripple effect of what happens in the States sort of ripples up here. And we always have to sort of maneuver around that. But otherwise, yeah, it's sort of pretty calm. It's chiller, and we got legal weed, so it's gravy.
Hey, another question.
Weed is legal in Chicago, man, and the police is still dicks, man. like it's crazy. Like, come on, man. Let me hit my Trey 5. Like, relax. But yeah, man, mention Chicago. We can't talk about.
We don't have to go back and forth.
We can't talk about Ice Cube and his words with as far as politics go, his handlings with Trump, without talking about Kanye, right? Because Kanye continues to do just questionable things. I mean, he's still in full on get out mode at times, you know, and kind of to make it easier for me to talk about this, because I'm going to hate talking about this because I hate bashing Kanye. Because I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm stuck here, you know.
I don't like to bash Kanye either.
You never know about Kanye, man. Kanye,
you know, you just gotta question this man's mind at some points, right? But like, I kind of want to, before we get there, I want to like kind of touch on like what is Killer Mike doing? Because Killer Mike, he does everything. It's like because Killer Mike doesn't have all liberal. He's not all liberal minded. So like, what is he doing right that Kanye West, Ice Cube, and a lot of these other celebrities in the media are doing wrong as far as touching on politics? Let's talk about that before we get into Kanye.
Killer Mike is being more active in what he's saying. So it's like, you know how people say, what's that phrase?
Action speaks louder than words.
Action speaks louder than words, and it's easier said than done, right? Killer Mike is out here doing his thing. Like I just heard, I think a week or so ago that he opened up a
black
his own
bank.
Yeah, that's big. Even though we got a lot of obstacles, you know, but just to open it up, man, that's great. And like even with that, man, because I've been thinking about doing that for a while, but as far as like transactions and processing, you know, depositing money, sometimes it takes like 3 to 4, maybe 5 business days for your money to actually clear on those type of banks. So it's like it's just bittersweet, man. But it's still great to, like, you know, just have one account. Hey, why not, right?
Absolutely. And so let's talk about Killer Mike. And like you said, you kind of summed it up perfectly. He puts action into it, while a lot of these guys are just talking heads with it. Even though I think Ice Cube is trying to be actionable. Kanye hasn't done anything actionable. I can't defend that. He just spews off nonsense for the most part. And I kind of just want to I'm gonna say this kind of to make this more of a interesting talk space, but I kind of agree with it, right? And this is a horrible take. I know I sound bad saying this take.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Mind you, but like Kanye running for president, is that worse than Biden? Like, is Kanye a worse candidate than Biden? Let's get there first.
He's not.
Yeah.
It's just like he just shouldn't do it right now. Like, this is, I mean, if you would have started like maybe some years ago to run for president, it'd probably be better. I mean, you just can't come in like 2-3 months before the election and say, "Hey, I'm going to run for president. I'm going to have a press conference in North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever." But it's like, man,
fam, the year of the election.
Come on, man. Come on, man. No, not right now, fam. I love you, man, but no, not right now.
Dog, could you imagine Kanye West sitting in the room trying to negotiate with Vladimir Putin, or like?
I mean, I couldn't imagine Trump doing it, but it happened. I couldn't imagine Trump doing it, man, but it happened.
Well, happened, bro. Like he, it's just too much, man.
I saw the Undertaker chokeslam Trump.
There's too much responsibility. There's too much damage to be done. Like, bro, like you hot mess some of your own personal life. That's your thing. That's you. But like, bro, there's too many people that like, no, you can't. You can't. It's just too much. It's too big.
Right.
And like the difference between a Killer Mike, I've heard hearing the two speak and do an interview. It's night and day. And there's a level of education that you can see that Killer Mike has gone into that I've never once seen out of Ye at all. And in the back and forth and the flip flop, and then I'm going to use this angle and I'm going to use this, and like you see consistency from Killer Mike and what his message is and what he's trying to do, and it's games on the other side, and there's compromise there too, as far as I'm saying him being compromised, whether it be his own, mental health issues that he might be struggle with, but also there's the back and forth that he does, the playing games with religion, the doing all that kind of stuff, man. It's just said right there. So it's so open to questionable things that like. It's too much. It's too much risk. It doesn't work.
So did anybody see his campaign ad that was released over the past few days?
I refuse to watch it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I watched it, and I'm not here to put you on the spot, Kress, but he talked about religious freedom, bringing that back to the forefront, especially through prayer. He not once said anything about Christianity specifically, but for someone who is in the nation, would you have concerns with a radical Christian? No, I'm not talking about Trump because I don't think he's Christian. I'm sorry, I don't.
I don't know what he is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Would you be comfortable with that and having a child who will be in school probably soon? I'm not trying to get into your parenting, but there's so many people in schools, so many kids in schools that do not practice Christianity. And he wants to put prayer back in anything. What type of prayer? Is all prayer welcome? Are we going to really have religious freedom, or are we going to have radical Christianity?
You think?
Wow.
Go ahead, Kress. I'll get you.
Wow. Hold on.
This is coming from a Christian. I mean, I don't go to church every Sunday, Wednesday, nothing like that. But I do wholeheartedly believe that you have the choice, the right to worship the way you want to worship.
Absolutely.
And my main concern with him, past all the BS, is how he's radicalized himself in Christianity. That's what I think is very dangerous.
He definitely been on like a run for like the past 2 years on Christianity heavy. But I feel like if you even Trump in a sense, he comes off as a Christian. But well, he speaks about Christianity a lot. Like I've seen something where they had like praise worship inside the White House It was crazy. But anyway, radical Christianity in the United States.
Because a lot of radical Christians shoot up black churches.
I don't think right. I don't think that's the move. Spirituality for sure. Like praying, definitely. But like to just put one religion on like the entire country. Come on, man. We in the year 2020. There's too many people with different religious rules. You just can't say, oh, everything's gonna be Christianity here. Everybody in this might be a little too deep, but anyway, since I'm here, everybody in some sense believes in Jesus Christ. Right? Now you can put Jesus to the forefront, like for sure, but you can't say this is Christianity, this is Islam, like the entire country is that. You can't do that here. Like somewhere else, maybe you can, but no.
And I just want to reiterate that he never said that explicitly. He never said that. He just focused on religious freedom. And then I saw another video today of him speaking about his awards that he won from the Billboard. He said he had 9 noms, 4 awards, and he wanted to thank all of his praying Christians. And I'm just like, bro, like, why are you, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is coming from a person who practices Christianity. Like that just, ooh, why'd you?
And I'm sorry to cut you off. But for me, like, I understand your point, and I hope he does not go that way. I just don't think, from what I've seen with Kanye, as much as he does the religious zealot shit he's been doing lately, like what he's done with it, like if you listen to like the Jesus is King album, the title sounds crazy, right? But listen to the album, he's pretty much just flipping religion. Like he just kind of makes it his own. And I think if he's welcoming that, like that kind of religious freedom where he takes his own perspective of it, and he's encouraging others to do the same, that's cool. But like what you're saying, Audra, if he does that, that's bullshit. Like I literally hated going to school having to say the Our Father. Like, why am I saying this? I don't do this at home. Like, why am I doing this here? Like, I get that. You know, so like
it's just
I'm 100% with you there. Like that's the main problem for America to me. The fact that we put Christianity like on this pedestal
into
that,
itself.
Like no one else religion matters. Like there's atheists, there's agnostics, there's Muslims, there's Buddhists, there's like it's all these religions in this world, and we call America this melting pot. It's horrible to just focus on one religion. And especially me being a black man, I'm against the idea of that because I feel like my people were brought here and force-fed this religion. So, you know, that's how I get down as far as Christianity goes. But
there's only one religion, and that is just being obedient to God. But unfortunately, we have these, you know, different, you know, religions, like how we feel. Go over here if you want to do this. Go over there, you want to do that.
Religion is man-made, and man is not man-made. So that tells you everything. And with that being said, like as far as like for me, the thing with Kanye, the reason why I'm not, and don't get me wrong, do I think Kanye West is the answer as president? No, absolutely not. Like I don't want that. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it's needed. But seeing what happened, like after we kind of won, like we won for 8 years. Like we had Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt the American people kind of won. Is this guy, even though Obama isn't a perfect person, right? He's not a perfect president. I think he was the turn in the right direction almost, right? So like for that we made that turn and they just steered the ship all the way back the craziest way possible. I think Kanye West or someone to that effect would be a great what's the word I'm looking for? Abruption. To a counterpart or just like something to like fuck up their system, because like America, like as fucked up as America is, the old white man is dying. You know what I'm saying the Civil War vet, that dude is dying. Like he's dying off. The Robert E. Lees of the world, the David Dukes of the world,
the DuPonts, you know Rothschilds,
all them evaporating before our eyes. And Kanye West, once again, not the answer, but do I think he can? What's the thing Pac used to say all the time? Like, if I can't change the world, I can reach the person who can. Like, I think he can probably spark. I'm saying Kanye West has inspired the next generation so much musically that hopefully he can do the same politically or something else wise as well, despite his insane, unexcusable behavior. Like Audra showed me the tweet he did the other day about black abortion. Like that shit, like I almost threw up reading that tweet. Like
you better bring it up.
that tweet made my stomach turn. Like I was like,
I hurt my head to read.
I was like, no, he did not write that. I hope this is not real. That went to Twitter and it's there. Go ahead and read it, Audra. Just please read it for the people.
I gotta flip back to the screen. Black baby lives matter. 1,000 Black children are aborted daily with the big eyeballs. Which is he wrong? Is he wrong?
Is he wrong?
But can we prove him wrong or right? No.
Like, what? So what does that mean? What does that mean?
So that's a whole long other conversation that would be another day. It is factual. It is. There's a lot of. I mean, you got to think how many people there is in this country. Number one, but the point of bringing it up the way that he is meaning it to be as a we need to put a stop to this and restrict it, and that's where that religious aspect seems to be coming into play. And that's the part that is dangerous because there's a lack of understanding of some of it that's behind it. There's also a lack of the raising questions of Democrat versus Republican and all that. It's not all bad it's not all bad or good on either side. Like there's different objectives on both sides. There's positives and negatives to it. That's something, if he wants to have that discussion and bring that to light, great. Yeah. But to paint it one way in which that's the way it seems to be given his message, that's where my concern is, because it's speaking of we need to stop and restrict this, and there's a lack of education behind it, and that's reckless and dangerous. And for him to do that and push that is problematic.
Yeah. And the worst part for me about that tweet was that tweet was black on black crime. Like that tweet, like black babies matter, like we the only ones out here getting abortions. Like what is being like it's only a problem in this community? Like it was just a wild, like the idea, the thought process behind that is so absent. Like it's crazy to me.
So all babies matter. So all babies.
I'm saying like I'm not definitely not saying that, but I'm all pro-choice, right? I'm 100% pro-choice, and I think like the idea that there's like a person's out in this world actually saying, "Oh, don't get aborted." Like, that's another topic for another day. Like that's crazy that the things we decide to police in this country. And like the fact that that hurt my heart to see Kanye tweet that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, come on.
Kanye, go ahead.
Because he's rapped about abortion. He's rapped about having abortions, like multiple abortions.
I was just gonna say the only other concern aside from, well, not the only, but aside, like now that I'm actually looking into it and figuring out what bothers me and not just being ticked off at what he says, like you said, he has inspired a whole generation. I've had conversations with people that put him on the same pedestal that he puts himself on in comparison to, your Steve Jobs and your Walt Disney's, which is fine. I don't even disagree with that because I believe he is an artistic genius. But since he is who he is, and we as a people have been super gullible because of the way we ended up here and what has been forced on us.
He's irresponsible.
People hang on to his every word, and that's also concerning to me. That's very concerning. They really hang on to his every word.
Yeah, I think that's what everything now.
Even if, because I didn't vote for Biden in the primary, even if Biden isn't the candidate of choice, there's going to be a lot of people voting for Kanye, which is it. Essentially, it's a vote for Trump.
Right now, yeah.
So right now,
for him, it's his heart might be in the right place. Like he legit may do better and do something good, and ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's a beautiful thing, but you also have to have the sense and humility about yourself to go, hey, maybe maybe this isn't the right way. The intent is correct, but the impact and the way of going about it is what's off. And that's where it's important to have people close to him that can be like, hey, like, this is not the way. And if he really truly wants to do something like that, and it's not just a show thing, then yeah, do that. There's nothing wrong with it. Something that he can consider doing. The two-party system is not the greatest thing, and that needs to change. There are legit third-party candidates that I was hopeful, as bad as the choices that we are stuck with again, that you might finally see somebody like that. Like I was big on Andrew Yang this whole time. Buttigieg is not a bad one also. The UBI, the Universal Basic Income, look at everything. Like, people were so much just trashing Yang for a minute over that idea, and then COVID hit. And just imagine what $1,000 for every adult throughout that happening.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Think of where we'd be today. Think of where we'd be today. Think of where we might be further ahead today, because people wouldn't be so scared to not have to go to work to be able to survive and live and be okay. Like, things could have been drastically different if we had something like that. And like, there's legit third-party people out there, and they should not be so scared to abandon the big party if they're a legit strong candidate that can do what needs to get it done. It's time for celebrities not to just push for the big parties, man. Like, let's get some legit third-party action going, because there's quality out there.
And like, for me, like, the main reason why, like, I'm not necessarily pro Kanye being president, but pro something to that effect, is because I think it's time. Like, I think if Kanye West got elected president, that the quote unquote powers that be, Congress, whoever the fuck else, they might actually sit down and actually change some shit. Like, as far like because they don't want a person like Kanye in there. Like, the fact that we are over here in this country, how many years this country been around now? 400 plus. Like, the fact that we are still in the same political atmosphere as we were when the slave owners was president. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's insane to me that we are still voting for, like, it's a popularity contest, for one. For two, there's laws in these books that are still just as racist and as fucked up as you could ever imagine. Like, the change that's been made in this country is so minimal that we don't even realize it. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah, 2020, 2020 still dealing with slavery, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
still asking for justice. But I mean, I would like to say that our ancestors, well, even the ones in the early 1900s, were like even more stronger. Me personally, I want to say they were more stronger than we are today.
But that's also because, like, they were fed nothing but, like, they had a fight. I'm saying, like, we've been positioned, and we've been kind of brainwashed to a point where we think we're free, while they knew they weren't free. Like, they knew, like, they were told every day, y'all not free. Like, we are told we are free, but I'm saying we aren't. I'm saying at all.
You free, but you can't get a job over here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you free, but you can't smoke weed, but the person that put you in jail for smoking weed is running for vice president. That kind of shit is like what goes on in America. And it's and Kamala Harris definitely, I guess, earned a lot of respect for, I'm saying, her speech. But like we just forgot that, I'm saying, she was talking about smoking weed when, I'm saying, she like put people in jail for smoking weed. Like,
going back to that might be, just think about it. That might be a legitimate reason why the Biden camp hasn't gotten back to Ice Cube in the capacity that he's looking for, because Kamala, prosecutor.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, NWA, fuck the police. Like, legitimately, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, that could be 100%. A legitimate thing right there. Like,
100%.
She's a prosecutor in California. He's a California native. I mean, she might not be receptive, and he might not be that receptive to her either.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point.
Facts.
But I was just saying.
We got Uncle Vick in the building.
Troubles.
Whoa.
Just in time for the
shit.
Kanye.
There y'all go. Chicken, what's up?
Audra just kicking my ass, man. You ain't missed nothing.
No.
I had to take a break from being in this hospital doing things, and I'm like, I can't let y'all have a whole conversation and me not jump in.
Yeah, we were just talking about Kanye West, president, running for president, or like, you know, just the whole president, the government. You know what I'm saying? Talking about I'm saying, everything going on in this country and how we're still slaves and we're like, you know, not even just blacks are slaves. Like all Americans are slaves to this government that we think is for us.
All Americans?
Not all, but of course, you know what I'm saying?
Not
Like,
all.
not all, but like
the ones
like
that shit.
What's so crazy is, right, even there's some whites that are slaves and don't realize it. Like the people who voted for Trump, the poor white people in the middle class who think they are better than us because they white, but don't realize, no, you poor fool. Like you did the same shit.
Exactly. Peep this.
That's my community, straight up.
I actually just had a white man before I came to work about 5 hours ago, and a MAGA hat wave at me. I was so stunned, I didn't even know what to do. Like, I just stared at him. Like, do I give this nigga the finger? Do I give him the finger? Do I wave back? I don't. I didn't even know what to do. He probably looked at me strange because after he spoke, I just stared at him because I literally I know what to do, because I understand that there are people. I know somebody personally, a white guy, who loves Trump, and I think he likes the idea, just like Kanye. He likes the idea of who Trump is as a person, but you don't understand that this motherfucker ain't for you, stupid.
At all.
And he white. And it's like, you kind of lost, I don't know, why, like, Kanye, first and foremost, is always trying to sell shit. So anything that he does is going to be in the realm of selling shit. Kanye realistically knew that he couldn't win, but Kanye's such a dreamer or a fantasizer in his head. I think that he like, hey, maybe I can pull it off in real life, but I don't think that nigga was trying to sell something.
He's a narcissist. He's definitely self-serving more than anything else, for sure. Can't deny that at all. But that is what America is a capitalistic society. Like everyone's out for self down there, and it fucks us all, like, constantly.
Because we're the only culture that advertises, that markets, hey, you can go from being poor to a billionaire from 1 year to the next. So everybody's out for
American dream.
The American dream. Everybody out for self. Fuck this. Fuck everybody else's kids. Fuck how everybody else is. I'm trying to get this money, and they value that. Me and my cousin was having a discussion yesterday that if you're of any type of spirituality or religion or whatever, you read the Bible and all of these things, the barter system was in effect, and people used their goods as currency, and now we use currency for the goods, and every other society within America, whether it's every other ethnic society, has a barter system set up except ours. We don't have a barter system. So we value their money. It's like Kanye said. It's like old Kanye said. They made us love their wealth and hate ourselves. You know that. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my
favorite. Down. My favorite Kanye verse.
That's my favorite Kanye. That's my top 2 favorite Kanye verses in his career. And
the police, that's how I treat them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
By freedom.
But then you look at this guy.
Yay! Every time, bro. It makes me so sad, man.
That's my point. That's my point, though. Then we have this guy. Like, we got this guy. We got, you know. So I don't know how to.
The evolution of Kanye West, man.
I don't know how to feel about Ye no more, man. I just know that one thing I won't do is disregard him because he's still Ye. But I don't know.
Yeah. I believe Kanye West is a very smart man. However, I don't believe he articulates himself well.
I don't think he's trying to.
And honestly, also, it's like Kanye is at a point.
I think you should now if you're trying to run for president.
But it's also to the point where, like, Kanye West is always talked about, and he's never hidden the fact that he probably has the biggest ego we've ever seen. So, like, once he kept getting bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
the ego grew with him. And I'm sure now no one could tell him anything. Like, Can't Tell Me Nothing was a real song. Like, he means those words.
Hey, another line from Ye. Another line from Ye. My hair's so big you can't sit behind me.
But I mean, shit. Joe Biden and Donald Trump don't articulate themselves well either. If you ask me,
that's my point. Like, for me, it's like if we go with Trump. I mean, we're not going with Trump, but like if Trump wins, yes, we're equal as fucked as we are now. But if Biden wins, I just think it's the same. Biden at best is George W. Bush to me. Like at his best.
I actually agree with you in that regard. I feel like at first I felt like you have to get out here and go vote because all of those MAGA motherfuckers is going to go put their mans in office, and you have to get out there and do that. But now I'm starting to feel like, do the conditions of our surroundings change regardless to who's there? I don't think it does.
No, really doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think the conditions change so much. It's just that the rhetoric, and we've seen it. You know, it's always been happening. But since he's been in office, just the amount of like
bullshit
white folks going super crazy. Like, super
all he did was pull them motherfuckers out the closet.
Exactly. There you go.
I'd rather them stay out the closet because at least now they have a signature and I know them when I see them coming.
That's a fact.
I mean,
I'm not gonna forget whether we get 4 more years or it ends. I'm not gonna forget how you acted while this man was president.
And what's fucked up is like, even if one day the Confederate flag like it's burned to the ground, the MAGA hat's gonna replace it. Like, and
I mean, there really is nothing to replace when at the end of the day, no matter who they sit in that seat, it's the same system.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
I'm starting to feel like people that hold their votes or whatever and say I'm not giving my vote to anybody. I used to feel a way toward them, and now I think I'm one of them.
I'm definitely.
I tell my homies all the time in Illinois, right? Like, cause I'm very political minded. I'm a very pro vote person. But in Illinois, like, if you don't want to vote here and you Democratic, like, you don't have to vote here. Like, because if I vote for Trump here, which I would never do, Biden's still winning. Like, that's the way the American system is fucked up. It just made that way to the point where these electoral votes, electoral college, like, this many, because Dick Durbin's been a senator in Illinois for 30 years. No matter what happens, it's going to be a Democratic state. Like, it's regardless. That kind of shit just fucks the country up. Like, even though I don't want, a Republican to win necessarily, it's still like they should have the right. They should have the option. It should be a change. And like the fact that Trump did not have the popular vote and became president is just proof of that. Like,
let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all have like? Because I know I've been to like multiple cities. Do all y'all have like non-black, non-white communities like Chinatowns, Middle Eastern town? Yeah. Do you ever see them voting when y'all go vote?
Nope.
Because they got
I'm glad you brought.
Because they got a system set up. They don't need our fucking democracy.
No, they don't.
Their community is not affected either way, and they keeping their money in their community, and they watching this shit show of an election going. We ain't gotta go do that shit. We keeping our money in our communities. Like, we don't have to do this. We don't even have to fucking.
The other day.
Huh?
What was that Malcolm X quote you posted the other day about the lack of organization?
I can't even remember. That was a good one too.
Yeah.
I'll be posting so many. I post so many of them, stuff like that. But
to your point,
yeah. But it was something along the lines of the lack of our communities organizing. I can't remember the exact quote. It was a good quote too.
But to your point, bro, like as oppressed as blacks are in this country, like the most oppressed community of all time is the Native Americans. and they definitely is not, they separate themselves entirely. And like to your going to your point again, like it's coming to a point where we have to just remove ourselves like from their established minds. Of course, not leave the country, but like we were talking about earlier with Killer Mike starting his own bank, and like
That's so dope.
I interviewed someone earlier who lives in Atlanta, and she's talking about how there's like there's all these vegan restaurants, there's all these Black-owned businesses in Atlanta, and there needs to be a little, not a little Africa, but like, you know what I'm saying, a little Harlem in every state in America.
There sure does, but how do we do that when we got to figure it? They've brainwashed us so much that we love their wealth. Like there's easily, like me and my cousin was talking, right? He just spent $170 on Dr. Sebi's holistic herbs and all that good stuff. I want to do the same thing. I could have did it yesterday. You know what I did? I bought a pair of Timberlands because I needed this pair of Timbs so bad. I didn't need it because I had 80,000 pairs a week, and I'm like, but I couldn't like talk myself out of buying them.
Yeah, that's real.
So we have to establish. Like, I'm not the biggest Umar Johnson person, but I just watched his Cannons class last week, and that motherfucker was spitting. Like, he was saying, I don't even particularly care for this person, but everything he said, I was like, yeah, he's right. Like, all we do is buy Jordans and Timberland. Not all that we do, but a lot of us is focused on pushing our money outward. And and he said that our people kind of go to church for the pimp, knowing they're being pimped, because you'd rather give him your money to pray your problems away than to have a community of us take a percentage of our check and we put it towards our own community. We wouldn't do that.
There's a thin line between pimping and preaching, right?
Yeah.
And even
all the same to me.
And even in like Black communities, I'm just gonna talk about Black communities and Black churches.
You stay in Maywood, bro. Like Reverend Wiley down the street, bro. You know he owns that man.
Black
Madison is crazy.
Black churches, Black communities. You would think with all the people in these churches in the Black community, that the money that they give to the churches, that the community should be striving, the church should be upkept, there should be more Black banks, because there is Black money going into Black churches and the Black community. You would think that we will have more opportunities, but however, we don't.
Because the churches ain't putting that shit back into the community.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point though. It's a capital, everybody trying to capitalize. That's just it.
And what really comes down to is I'm gonna let Skeet and Poppa C talk after this. They haven't really spoken much. I'm saying we'll get y'all in here. But the thing with the Black community is it's starting to become a myth, like in many ways. Like many Black communities, either we're being gentrified out of them, I'm saying, or they're so dispersed and ran down. Like you stay in my hometown of Maywood, bro, and I know on Fifth Avenue you just drive down, there's nothing but abandoned buildings, the whole street. And you see that there, and like you can go across the bridge to Melrose Park, where it's majority Hispanic, and you see nothing but mom and pops, mechanic shops. So
even with Maywood, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. My taxes on my house is, I think when I got here it was like $5,500 like per year. This year they went up like maybe $200 or $300 more, right? But you would think with all the, like, you know, people paying taxes. I know there's not a lot of people in Maywood that's paying taxes or whatever, but with those taxes that people are paying, you would think the streets would be paved. Like, these streets are messed up out here. Ain't no, man. All right, man. I'm done. I don't even.
Potholes. Like, man, if you drive through Maywood, they don't fix it. They just patch the potholes up until next spring.
Detroit got sinkholes. Like, You can lose your car in one of our potholes. Bro. That shit ridiculous.
That's crazy, man. And you just won't see that shit in an upscale neighborhood. You won't see it.
Well, that's because they're allocating. We don't have a choice in where they allocate our tax dollars.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Because that's the only time they get to pandering to us. And I've never in my 38 years of life seen black issues be at the forefront of an election. And I can guarantee you that when all of this shit is over and they swear whatever president they swear in January, I can guarantee you all the police brutality protests and fucking COVID, all that shit gonna vanish by March.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yeah.
Shit gonna be gone.
I'm glad you just
They'll still be shooting us. They'll still be shooting us and kicking our asses, but they ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Next year is so predictable to me as far as politics go for the most part. Like, I feel like if Trump wins, he's gonna be like, I'm saying, it's gonna be all about Trump like, every day. If Trump loses, it's gonna be all about Trump every day because Trump's gonna be talking about how it's fixed. It's like no matter what, like this political system is turned into a reality show, and it's not about the issues no more. It's about the face who's the president. Like even when Obama was president, like going back to like Obama a little bit, I didn't see Obama on TV every day. I didn't see him at all. Like I see Trump. You
only saw him when it was time to talk some business.
That's it. Like when something was going on, I see. You can't turn to CNN if I see a Trump face.
True.
And it's crazy. That's what it's become, and that's why like when. Yeah. That's why when I say someone like Kanye, like of course I don't want Kanye to be my president necessarily. But what I think what happened if he got elected is that they would shut the government down. Like
they would make the Senate would start making some new rules like a motherfucker. If he got
like this guy cannot make any demands.
Man, he's gonna miss it so fast. Are you kidding me? The state plane mysteriously disappeared off the earth all of a sudden. Like, come on, man.
Honestly, if Kanye got elected, I'd be scared for his life.
All I'm gonna say.
I'm already scared for his life.
True.
All I'm gonna say is,
Audra's hilarious.
I'm serious though.
Yeah.
At this point, man, I just recommend everybody go get them a gun and a license to carry a gun. And if you can't get a license, go get you a rifle. That's all I can say.
Get a gun, some type of weapon.
I watched Gremlins 2 with my kids the other day, and there's a line in there that said, we recommend everyone invest in canned goods and shotguns. And I was like, yo, it's 2020 for real.
It comes back around.
Full circle, man. Full circle.
Put the money in. Now, but like, if you want to talk about celebrities or artists that if you want to talk politics for real, Killer Mike, of course, good example. Man, David Banner. If you ain't listened to David Banner,
I love David Banner. I love David. He is so underrated.
Yeah,
that's my guy right there. He's that is one very intelligent man, and yeah, man, he's good to listen to. He's got a great mind about him, and
he has a really good podcast too.
Yeah.
Scarface.
Willie D.
Willie D.
It's a couple of those, but see, this is my thing, right? Because Kanye, like when he went to the White House, right, and said we should free Larry Hoover. That's probably during that time, that's one of the only things he said that I agreed with. My thing is, Kanye is too out of touch with our community to be trying to run for any fucking thing. Because why are you not talking to the Willie D's and the My Sons and the Tamika Mallory's and why are you not talking to those people and Angela Rye and those are if you try to make a legitimate run at being something greater for our people, why are you not linking with the people that's out here putting work in on the ground, bro, getting shit done?
That's a fair point. That's a great point.
Word.
That's a great point.
Got a big ego.
Kanye got a lot of work to do, man. Kanye got a lot of work to do.
That nigga too busy trying to sell a nigga some sneakers.
He's still trying to be
slides though.
He's still trying to be the next Walt Disney and all that.
Ugly ass shoes.
They are ugly.
I fucking hate them. I hate them shoes and I hate niggas that wear them. Only to be honest, only fat niggas can wear them and make them look. Only fat niggas can wear them, make them look good anyway.
I can't wear them joints.
Only fat niggas can really wear them, make them look good. I see my brother had a pair on, and I was like, damn, those look good. But only only big niggas can make them look good. Honestly, I hate them fucking shoes.
It's definitely built for comfort.
Speaking on Kanye, the whatever like crazy amount of property that he just bought up in Wyoming or whatever. Like, talking about stuff in the city, man. One thing that we should start looking at is we have to manage the size of a city better. It's like you can't have 1 million people in one spot and expect it to be manageable, really. That's just too many people. You gotta there should be the thought of there's so much open space, man, where you can get people out, and the work on infrastructure that needs to be done. Like there's ways to put that together, and like someone having a crazy sized property like that, you can build infrastructure there. You can build buildings. You can start building a town, a small city, and be manageable. That's something that like that top tier where that big money's at, man. Like you want to talk about investing in the community, man. Build a new community.
Yeah.
And man, that's a way of, hey, instead of having to fix all this broken stuff, we can start fresh with a better beginning. That's something that is I think not looked at enough.
I think a better idea of organization, as opposed to going to sit in political office, is organize a committee. Like if more people, like if all the black billionaires sat the fuck down, the Jay-Z, Kanye, Michael Jordan, whoever, Oprah, all the rap, everybody that's really trying to implement some change, if they all sat down and organized the community, they could maybe do some more things like buy bigger pieces of land like Kanye did in Wyoming and try to build communities on our own. If we can build our own infrastructure within this system, why in the fuck do we need the political shit? We don't need it.
How much money is sitting in that, bro? You know how much money is sitting in that?
Shout out to those
sitting in that, and it's self-maintained.
Shout out to those 17 to 19 families in Georgia who bought a bunch of land and started Freedom Georgia.
Georgia. I'm keeping an eye on that.
That kind of shit needs to be a regular thing. That's like super crucial.
We could do that shit if we just didn't go Black Friday shopping this year.
For real,
found it.
Like, say that 2,000.
We are not outnumbered. We're out-organized.
That's the quote. That's the quote. That's what I couldn't think of it. That's the quote. We aren't outnumbered. Definitely. We ain't never been outnumbered. We wasn't outnumbered when they bought our access to plantations. It was more of us than them then.
Each level up, there's less people.
The hard part is, but that's why I think an influential committee. Look at how people jump when Meg and Cardi and all them do something. Like if we can get those influential people to create some shit and say, "Hey y'all, we going over here," they will follow them the same way Jay-Z said, "Take them goddamn jerseys off and wear button-ups," and niggas did it. Farrakhan organizes 1 million people every 10 years. We could do that. Speaking of Farrakhan, fuck DJ Vlad, by the way, but that's the point of what I'm saying.
DJ Vlad.
And to bring up the honorable minister of Farrakhan, tomorrow will be the 25th anniversary of the Million Man March.
Damn, really?
Yeah,
this will be out by tomorrow for sure.
They need to do another one. Cause if they do another one, I'm there. I'm not missing.
They did one this year, right? Or was it last year?
You said
what?
They
did one in like 2016 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, it was the 10-year anniversary of when they did it, I think.
Word.
It was a 10 or 15-year anniversary and they did one. It's about the time, especially with all the shit going on in our society, for us to do another one. And
but even like with someone like Farrakhan or someone like Elijah Muhammad, like of course there are things you can disagree with them people, those two men, but like at the end of their lessons, the things they taught are crucial things that have been completely just wiped off of this, like disregarded by so many people because they were just right. You know what I'm saying, and they were ready to they had the power to organize black people, and they had to stop them. I'm saying, like Malcolm X had to be stopped, Martin Luther King had to be stopped, and that's what going to Vick's point. Like if we got all you can't stop a group of billionaires. Like I don't care if they black, white, purple. Like if you get Jay-Z, Kanye West, LeBron James in the room together and say, "Hey, be for real," they can't be stopped. Like this, they have the power now. Like, and they have to take advantage of that shit. Like to your point, and like, of course, we can do shit too. But like, when you look at a Jay-Z or a Kanye West, Jay-Z doing shit with NFL, Kanye West doing shit with Trump, it's like, damn, why can't y'all take that energy and come together and really fuck some shit up?
Right.
Man, I think we all have issues or disagreement with each other, so it's kind of hard for us to come together. But if you just sit down and really like talk that out,
that petty shit ain't worth it.
Man,
we can't even get motherfuckers to agree on police killing us or Meg versus Tory.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
comes those two things together.
That's the people out here still fighting for R. Kelly's rights, bro. Like, niggas is crazy.
America,
it's crazy.
You can't even get all of us on one level to support LeBron. Like,
it's a difference between us and them. I just want to say that because when these police officers shoot one of us and they end up going to jail and they end up having something like a $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million bill, those people come together within 2 to 3 days to come up with the money to bail those officers out.
Because what buddy that got George Floyd, he got better for what, 1.5 million?
Got out.
1.5 million?
Got out.
Cop salary? How the fuck he get that?
Got out.
Think about put that together. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when like even as fucked up as R. Kelly is, some black lady bailed him out. First thing they do, he going back to jail for child support. Like they get him right back in. Like it's just the system, man. It's crazy.
It's a wrap for Kel.
Oh, Kel's done. Fuck Kel.
It's a wrap.
Like, fuck dude. Like, I don't know who that is for real. I'm just talking about just because he's a black man. That's the situation is just different. Like the fact that like you look at how he's a fucked up person, but how fast he got rid of, and how there's fucked up. I'm saying whites out here that just is gonna stick around forever. Like all Harvey Weinstein had to do was get ghosts. All Bill O'Reilly had to do was get ghosts. I'm saying it's gonna be safe.
Yep.
Gonna be safe, man. But I think that was a good conversation, man. I think we talked each other's heads off. Very dope. And we're gonna do this again. Hopefully, do this more often than we always say. But man, there's one thing before we go. We all have to. I'm saying, remember, give me a moment of silence. I'm saying, in honor of T. I'm saying, BKC wouldn't be BKC without T, man. To me, 8 seconds. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, T. We love you. We miss you. And with that being said, man, I am Juice. You can follow me on Twitter at JuiceJVP. Follow me on Instagram at Juice in the Hood. We are BKC Network. Twitter and Instagram at BKC Network. Please follow the squad. Go ahead, Skeet. What you got?
Yeah, Skeet Johnson, Cali Sunshine on Facebook. We got things cooking. They'll be coming along. We'll get it out there on the network as soon as it is.
For sure. Poppa C.
You can find me on Spotify under Poppa C and on Instagram, Poppa C Music.
One word. Audra?
Yes, Tiki taught me on social media. That's my personal account. And then for the podcast, it's What a Crime Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also have Action for Change, but last time I tried to spell that out, it got a little silly. So that is the social justice organization. And before we go, I'm doing just a little bit of my part. My outfit is completely locally Black owned. You can't see it all, but Souls and Roses 8 on Instagram. And
Say it again.
Souls in Roses 8 on Instagram. And then I have some sweatpants on that were designed by Offbeat Soleil. She is a Black girl in Louisville, Kentucky, who designs clothes, and she's also a stylist and whatnot. So you can do little things like this, and it goes a long way.
And Soleil is Soleil.
If it's
I'm gonna
spelled like
send it to you so you
French,
can put it in the description.
Okay, put it in the description for sure.
I just gotta look it up.
KP, where can you find you, bro?
My personal account on Facebook. I'm still in process of
Gotta give this man an IG. Gotta give my man an IG, man.
Hey, I was about to say, man, like, I'm still figuring out the blog thing. So as soon as I figure that out, man, I give out more information. But I got a personal account on Facebook. You can reach me there.
Because now that I know that KP lives down the street, you gonna be on the podcast. You come on a Good in the Hood podcast, bro.
Yeah, I need to talk to Smoother, man.
Man, I know you was right here in Maywood. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yep, I'm right here.
That is crazy, man. Yeah, that's good. That's Good in the Hood pod on Instagram, at Good in All Hoods on Twitter. And make sure, like, forget mine, man. Listen to What a Crown to Be Alive, man. Shout out to Audra. Dope podcast.
Thank you. Just trying to get better each time.
With an even doper concept, for sure. And until next time, man, we are the Blank Kanvas Creatives. Peace, love, and always.